And welcome into Half This Is Live, your weekly barroom commentary NFL podcast. As always, I am Matty Fax, joined by Sconathan Staten, a.k.a. Scotty Stats, Brian the Professor, and a little off camera, we've got Dick Woodcock, our producer, the great Skunk Hunter, and we also have Up Greg joining us this week. We are brought to you by our continued hatred for all commentators, with the exception of Erin Andrews. She's the best that they have. They need to put her in the booth.
Put her in the booth.
Would be remiss to not say also that we started this show because of our hatred for one Joseph Buck. He is just the worst. Fuck Joe Buck. And I will drink to that. Alright. If you've never joined us before, each week we make our picks for the games. And the following week, those of us who got the most picks right get to use a koozie of our favorite team as opposed to a koozie of our least favorite team. So, Scott, you and I got first and second, so you get to use your Giants koozie.
It's the only thing the Giants won this week is...
I get to use my Bears koozie. That's pretty sweet, especially when I'm using a beer called Circle the Wagons, my Mortalis Brewing outside of Rochester.
Send the check.
Not a sponsor, but they could be. The Professor and Mr. Woodcock unfortunately tied for last place last week, so Mr. Woodcock gets to use the Tom freaking Brady koozie.
Thank you, sir.
And Brian gets to help the Dallas fans celebrate with a Cowboys koozie.
How you like that, G-Man? How you like that? We them boys.
We'll go over that game soon.
You want me to turn this podcast around? Let's do it right now.
I will turn this podcast around.
Thursday night, we'll go ahead and get started, I guess. Thursday night, the Carolina Panthers traveled to Chicago. We got to watch a rookie quarterback taken with the first pick duel it out against a rookie quarterback that was not drafted, that did not go to D1, and definitely did not win the Heisman. In this game, Bryce Young and the Panthers lost 16-13. Bryce Young did have 185 yards passing. Adam Thielen, was one of his major recipients with 6 catches for 42 yards. Chuba Hubbard led their rushing attack with 23 yards. For the Bears, a little better. Tyson Bagent, or Bilbo Baggett, however you would like to say his name, had 162 yards passing. No turnovers this week. Deonta Foreman got a little revenge on his former team with 80 rushing yards and a touchdown. And DJ Moore had 5 catches for 58 yards. As a Bears fan, I do wish Fields had been able to play in this game. I think it would have been a good one for building his... having a little more belief in the system.
Yeah.
A little more experience on the field, especially against a weaker team. It's one of those ones where you think he could start to get more confidence built up.
Yeah, it's the team to play against.
Yes.
Right. This is also, keeping Carolina at the bottom of the pile is pretty important because they do get the draft pick from them. But also, if DJ Moore is going to be their guy and not get ousted, and with there's some good quarterbacks going into this draft. So whether it's the number 1 pick or not, DJ Moore needs to get out there. He needs to. This system that is was coming together at the end of last year. We see peaks of it now. They've got a lot of gaps, but things are looking a little
Fields
better.
Out there. Moore was putting up huge numbers with Fields at quarterback.
Yeah.
And I do think that that's something that can continue moving forward. It's not going to get much easier for them. They do have the Lions next week, so I hope they're watching a lot of film because the Lions are good this year.
Yeah.
This morning, Germany was lucky enough, I guess you could say, to get to watch the Colts and Pats play.
Some footy.
Pretty much. It was almost a soccer score. It was 10-6 Colts. Gardner Minshew, 194 yards passing, no touchdowns, but he did throw an interception. Jonathan Taylor had 69 yards rushing, did finally get a touchdown. Michael Pittman paced their wide receiver core with 8 catches for 84 yards. For the Pats, they ran the ball a lot better today. I'll give them that. Stevenson had 88 yards. I believe Ezekiel Elliott had a little over 50.
Yep, and a touchdown.
Yep, and Demario Douglas had 6 catches for 84 yards. Unfortunately, Mac Jones had 170 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception. For the Colts, it's kind of what we've been seeing all season. They're kind of up and down with the quarterback play. I think Jonathan Taylor is starting to round back into shape. For the Pats, this is a continuation of the issues that we've been saying they're having all season. Like, this is worse than any season I saw Belichick have in Cleveland, I think.
Well, for Mac Jones to get benched for Bailey Zappi after an interception, and then for Bailey Zappi to follow up with an interception, what are you going to do, And we saw some good play with Bailey Zappi last year. So, is he a starter? he looked like he was building into that at one point. We talked about it quite a bit. So is it just quarterback play? No, they've got other issues there. But New England is really, really. I don't know what their issue is of all things. Like it seems like it's never one
I
thing.
think it might be no Tom Brady.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, like, all right, this is going to...
We're going to go ahead and let the Bills fans
Any
sound
way you
off
want
for
to
a minute.
slice this, I'm not happy about, like, whatever is going to... Word vomit's going to come out of my mouth. I'm not diminishing Belichick, but when you have a Corvette in the garage for 20 years and Tom Brady, and then you get handed a Pinto, there's going to be some adjustment issues.
But okay, at the same time, their O-line is not what it used to be.
No.
Gesicki is a decent tight end, but he's no...
Surely not Gronk.
He's definitely not...
Or Aaron Hernandez,
And like,
for that matter,
right?
This
Right?
pains me to say this, but apparently, under the Belichick regime, communist probably, their O-line coach was just like one of the best in the NFL. And I was listening to an interview, and they were like, for as good as our O-line coach was, Tom Brady as your quarterback,
Yeah.
just climbing the pocket or stepping aside, made the O-line better than they were every single year.
Sure.
Fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also made up for any shortcomings in your wide receiver core because he would just go through the progressions and find the open man.
Right. So I just, as the Bills fan, I think, once again, I don't like to say this, I think Brady was more integral to their success than Belichick by a mile.
When I can't recall another head coach that's won multiple Super Bowls that when they lose their starting QB are this fucking bad.
But at the same
Or
time...
go to a different team that are this fucking bad.
So if we want to
you
talk
know?
about offense, that was that they lost, clearly the linchpin of their offense. Okay, Belichick being more of a defensive-minded coach, where's that?
Yeah.
Where's that? Where's the defense
Well, they only
that's
gave
keeping
up
you in
10
the
points
game?
today.
Yeah.
Okay, against the Colts.
And the
Yeah.
Colts had scored 20
Right.
plus in the last, 19 games.
Yeah.
So
and-
it's not...
Now,
Yeah.
Colts with Anthony Richardson, the way that he was starting the season,
That's
that could
also
have
very
been
fair.
that could have been even better. Gardner Minshew, he
Yeah.
just likes to look down the field too much instead of running backs got the ball. I mean, but Jonathan Taylor is one of the best out there, underutilized,
Yep.
right? Zach Moss, holy shit, as your RB2, barely saw any action today.
Yep.
So, okay, where's your defense then, New England? Where's your defense? So it's not just Tom Brady on the offensive. I'll concede to that. But yeah, where's that defense? They got real problems.
I agree. I mean, right now they're 2-8. They're looking at a top 5 pick. I don't know the last time a Bill Belichick team had a top 5 pick.
Cleveland.
Has to be,
Probably.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, they have some issues they're going to have to try to figure out because in their division, it doesn't get any easier. The only bonus they have is that they go against Zach Wilson again. And, I mean, that's a good chance for a win for them. But that Jets defense is legit also.
Yeah.
I don't see their defense being able to slow down the Bills or Miami, though.
Nope. Oh,
which
no
means in
fucking
their
way.
division, they're fucked.
Yep.
The only thing that can slow down the Bills are the Bills.
Very accurate.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. In the 1 o'clock games, we'll start out with the Texans traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Texans pulled this one out 30-27. CJ Stroud continued his push for the Rookie of the Year, throwing for 356 with a touchdown and 1 pick. Devin Singletary came off the
Monster.
150
Monster.
yards rushing and a touchdown. Noah Brown led them with receiving with 7 catches for 172 yards. Tank Dell also had 50 yards receiving and a touchdown. They were great today. But the Bengals weren't bad either. Joe Burrow, 347, 2 touchdowns, did throw 2 picks. Joe Mixon, 46 yards rushing and a touchdown. And Jamar Chase, 5 catches, 124 and a touchdown. This one just came down to who had the ball last.
Yeah. Oh, Texas defense almost lost in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Built a good, sizable lead, and then just let the Bengals come right back.
And Tyler Boyd dropping a wide open
Yep.
touchdown that made
Yep.
the Bengals have to take the field goal. Kind of cost them the game in the end. I mean, you can't boil it down to one play. That's
Yeah.
not fair. But he was wide open in the end zone,
Yep.
and it hit him right in the hands.
Yep.
I'm guessing all of us picked the Bengals this week.
Yeah.
Not me.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
alright.
killing it this week.
Man.
I cannot lose this week.
Oh, nice.
I'm so far ahead of you guys.
But there's, good on you because to make that kind of prediction, even if it was just contrarian to the rest of us.
No, I had a feeling. Had a good feeling.
But
Yeah.
the way that the Texans are playing, man, they're playing some great football.
They have a winning record right now. They're 5-4.
Yeah.
Actually, so the AFC
weird to
North.
say.
They had 2
Right.
top 3 picks this past year. Now, granted, they traded back up for one of those. Anderson's been playing really well for them defensively as a rookie, and CJ Stroud. If they continue to
Yeah.
build this in their careers moving forward, they have their 2 linchpins on offense and defense.
Yeah.
Imagine if they still had D-Hop.
right?
Like Jesus, you know.
You say that, but like, their receiver core. All right, not that I'm saying anyone's going to be at his level just
But yeah,
yet.
they're not missing a
Right.
lot.
But
Yeah.
Noah Brown has been quite a revelation
Yeah,
in his
yeah.
6th year. Tank Dell's been an excellent rookie. Nico Collins, when he's healthy, is
Yeah.
producing very well for
Yep.
them. Robert Woods signed as a free agent. I'm not even sure they needed to sign him.
No.
And this is with John Mechie, who's also coming back from cancer, by the way,
Yeah.
who's been making a few little plays here and there also. So they're looking good for the future. D'Amico Ryans has that team firmly believing in itself.
The turnaround that they had from, I mean, getting rid of Watson, trading away the team, we got to do a
That
full
turmoil
rebuild
for 2 fucking years.
How many times do you see someone like we're clearly going through a rebuild, and it takes 10 years?
Yep.
This is an incredible turnaround. I'm shocked by
Also,
this.
I don't know if you saw D'Amico Ryans at the end of that game. When that game was like a nail biter and just
Yeah.
like objectively very compelling and thrilling. But like at the end of the game, D'Amico Ryans just deadpan was like business as usual. Rolled out through the handshake, just like, yeah, of course we won like that.
I mean, I don't
Like,
want to. Making this connection is going to sound like it's, well, yes, he's a young black defensive coordinator. It reminds me a little bit of young Lovie Smith.
Yeah.
When he was with the Bears, though, like his Rex Grossman threw 3 interceptions and we won because of touchdown by the defense, and it was a nail biter, and he looked like he was a heart rate of about 45 the whole
Yeah,
time.
I'm gonna go home and cry in the toilet. But for right now,
Yeah, you're not.
business
you're-
as usual.
This
Fucking
facade
nothing.
will
Yeah.
not crack. You will not know I'm anything but happy for my team.
Yep.
Pretty amazing what they've done this year for sure. The Packers traveled to Pittsburgh. They lost 23-19. They made a pretty good game out of it though. Jordan Love 289 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. AJ Dillon led their rushing with 70 yards. Jaden Reed, young good wide receiver, 5 catches, 84 yards and a touchdown. For the Steelers, this was all about their defense because offensively, not a whole lot going on other than Jalen
sad.
Warren had 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. But Kenny Pickett only had 126 yards passing.
Yep.
Pickens led their wide receiver room with 3 catches for 45 yards.
He was positive though.
That defense
No, that's true.
is
Yeah.
true. That defense got 2 interceptions in the end zone, one right at the end of the game that really sealed it. But they are winning despite the offensive woes that they have, and it is really amazing to watch.
Yeah.
And Tomlin has that team as prepared as ever.
The way that the season started, it was looking pretty ugly. Now here they're sitting in a pretty good spot. That being said, the AFC
And
North.
a tough ass fucking division.
I was going to say, the
Yeah.
AFC North is, if you asked me to pick this at the beginning of the season, I don't know that I was going to put Baltimore at 7-3, Pittsburgh and Cleveland tied at 6-3, with Cincinnati 5-4.
Yep.
No way, because
Yep.
Cincinnati is again off to a slow start, but they're looking like themselves. Even though they lost today, they're watch out for them week after week, no doubt about it. But like, are you kidding me? Like this is murderer's row.
Well, preseason we're like, that's fucking anybody's game. Who knows who's going to win that division?
We did say it was a bit of a toss-up.
but not in the positive way. We're like,
Yeah.
fuck, it could be fucking anybody.
Cle-
And they're all
Cleveland,
fucking good.
right?
you
Yeah,
know?
Cleveland 6-3. Playing hard defense. Pittsburgh 6-3, playing hard defense. Holy shit, it's impressive.
It absolutely is. And again, especially when you consider the fact that the Steelers' offense just has not gotten on track
Yeah.
in any of the games
Yeah.
this season. The Titans travel to Tampa Bay, take on the Bucks. Bit of a letdown today for Will Levis and his team. They lost 20-6. Levis had 199 yards passing, 1 interception. Derrick Henry could not get going. Only 24 yards rushing today. Phillips led their receiving room, 3 catches for 61. For the Bucks, pretty good. Baker Mayfield continues his renaissance, 278 yards passing, 2 touchdowns.
Hey, is that Mike Evans? I should probably throw to him.
Yeah.
He had 6 catches for 143 yards and a touchdown. And
Get
he
Mike
is
1,000,
on pace
baby.
for his 10th 1,000-yard season, which will put him 1 behind tying Jerry Rice
Man.
for the most in a row at all in the NFL.
Get
history.
him that.
Also,
man.
make what you guys want of this, but I was looking at the Titans stat line and whatnot, and in the games the Titans have won, Derrick Henry has had 20 yards or 20 carries or more per game, and I'm not like advocating run him into the ground, but every game they've lost, he's had under 20 rush attempts.
Right.
Makes
Right.
sense.
And what
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, don't beat him to death. I don't want to see that, but it's just like it's like it was a Tennessee fan. It's like I see a trend, like over 20 rush attempts, W, under 20, L. Just
And like this year, maybe it's like, okay, let's let him get healthy.
Yeah.
We're going to have a losing season anyway. We'll just come back when he's got fresh legs.
right.
Who knows?
It's the last year of his contract also, so they're going to have to
Ooh.
figure out what to do there.
So
Yeah.
also make him not look so good
Yeah.
So they
No,
can
but it
retain
just-
him for
like I said,
cheaper.
You can try to play that game all you want.
Like
That's-
it's also hard because we advocate for running backs and getting paid
Yeah.
and like not ruining their careers, but it's just like you gotta run them.
Yeah, that's-
Like you have to.
it's
Yeah.
a prime that we're not seeing him prime
Yeah.
Yeah.
continuing to be Derrick Henry. This man has had 200-yard games, multiple
fun to
200-yard
watch,
games.
too.
You know,
Oh,
come on.
man.
And the best stiff arm in the NFL.
Oh,
But I'm saying last season, Derrick
terrifying.
Henry has 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. You would have been like, yep, just another day at the
Yep,
office for
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Absolutely. And one of the most exciting games of the day, not the most exciting, but one of them, the Browns traveled to Baltimore to take on the Ravens, pulled out the victory 33-31. Deshaun Watson, 213 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Jerome Ford led their their rushing room, 107 yards. And Amari Cooper, 6 catches for 98 yards for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, 223 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Did have 2 interceptions, though. Keaton Mitchell led their rushing attack with 34 yards on 1 carry, I believe. And Zay Flowers had 5 catches for 73 yards. This game started out real bad for the Browns. Tipped ball, returned for a touchdown. They found a way to claw back into this game, though. And it was pretty impressive, the lack of quit in them.
Watson seems like he's got a lot of quit in him.
Yes, he does. Every play when he gets hit, I think he's about to walk off
You
the
know,
field.
but he was there the whole time. He put up good numbers. We know that the elite quarterback lives in him. Everything has all been alleged, but they say when there's smoke, there's likely to be fire, and there was a lot of smoke on that man.
A lot of friction.
I don't want to alleged. I don't want to necessarily I want to see a top quarterback do top quarterback things. I think he's a piece of
Absolutely.
trash, but getting him back into form, that's going to still make good football regardless.
Right,
So,
but it doesn't
watching
seem
the-
like he wants to be back in form.
but today it did seem like that
Okay.
though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's they've got a good record. They're in a tough division. For them to take out Baltimore, who's looking like absolute kings
Yeah.
lately,
yeah.
good on them.
I still
agree.
think they're one of the best 2, 3, 4 teams in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Not Cleveland, Baltimore.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But Cleveland has all the parts necessary
Yes.
to be. I mean, their defense
Yep.
is also quite legit.
Yeah.
Oh, top 5 defense in the
Yeah.
league.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Well, they still have their backup running back.
yeah,
Like,
this is all without Nick
This is
Chubb,
all
by
about
the
Nick
way.
Chubb, you know?
Yeah. Right.
Which we already forgot about because that was fucking 2 months ago.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the fact that they can just keep on just putting players out there and winning is pretty fun to watch.
Yep.
So the 49ers traveled to Jacksonville today, and the 49ers played football. I'll give them that.
They
I
did.
would not call what the Jags did today football. 34-3, the 49ers come out with the victory. Brock Purdy, 296 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. McCaffrey had 95 yards rushing, I believe another 40 yards receiving. George Kittle led the receivers with 3 catches for 116 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, kicking yourself, you didn't start him.
Yeah,
Man.
You'd be terrible to have left him on your
Could
bench.
you imagine leaving him on the bench?
Some dumbass.
Weird.
Couldn't imagine who would do that.
Could you imagine also leaving Christian McCaffrey on your bench?
Yeah, and having Cam Akers, who
That's weird.
tore his Achilles last week,
Nah.
in your starting lineup.
That's odd.
That
That's
guy
odd.
would never.
Which 3 teams were these?
Who,
Oh, all one.
Oh.
All one.
No, he would never be that dumb.
yeah. No.
Yeah. For the Jags, there's not much to talk about here. Trevor Lawrence had 185 yards passing, but 2 interceptions.
Yep.
Christian Kirk, 6 catches, 104 yards. That's about all that really went well
Yep.
for the Jags today.
So I actually kind of blame myself because I have Calvin Ridley on my fantasy squad, and every time I play him, he does nothing.
Gooses you?
So yeah, sorry, Jags. That's my fault.
It's your fault,
That's,
yeah.
it's my fault. Yeah.
Next time, send out an announcement when you do that.
So, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, for the 49ers, this could just be a case of they had the 3 straight losses, then the bye week.
Like, let's
Are
get
they
our
just
shit
healthy
together.
again?
Yep.
Also,
Because they had Debo back, they got Brandon Ayuk back,
Yeah.
they've got Kittle playing, they got McCaffrey. This was a much healthier team today.
okay, yeah, sure. On the offensive side, their defense shut down a great team.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
You know,
A very well balanced team, also.
hell yeah. So, yeah, kudos to the defense on San Francisco, which is an absolute monster. I wouldn't have expected to hold them to a field goal. Holy
Right.
shit! Holy shit!
Yeah.
Impressive.
And the idea of having Bosa on one side of the line and Chase Young at the other is just
Good for Chase Young, man.
Yeah, good for him, man. I hope he gets a lot of wins after suffering in with the commies. The Saints traveled to Minnesota. They did lose 27-19 to the Vikes today. Jameis Winston had to come in because Carr got high-load by two defensive linemen. If you don't know what that means, it means that one guy hit his legs while the other one hit his upper body, and he left with a knee injury and I believe a concussion.
Yeah, he's concussion protocol, yeah.
So Jameis Winston came in,
Okay.
had
I gotta
122
pause.
yards passing.
This is fantastic. So you guys know when they switched the game off and they put on the movie Heidi because they thought the game was over?
Yep, it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
Was it?
Raiders.
But it
Jets
was
game.
Jets Raiders, yeah.
But it's the actress from Heidi doing the promo for the fucking game.
Oh, no
It's
kidding.
fantastic.
Oh, my God.
Winston coming in today was interesting because the last time we saw him as a complete starter in Tampa Bay, he became the first 30 touchdown, 30 interception man. And today he kind of kept on with that trend. He had 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So keep playing him. We'll see what happens.
Mr. Consistency.
Yeah.
Olave finally had a game, though. 6 catches, 94 yards, and a touchdown. For the Vikings,
Oh, that one catch, too.
Oh.
Oh.
yeah,
Oh,
the catch in the back of the end zone in the corner he had was amazing. For the Vikings, though, Dobbs. I don't even know what else to say right now. 268 yards passing and a touchdown, 44 yards rushing and a touchdown. He's like, I have a tight end that is otherworldly in Hawkinson, and I'm going to use him.
Yep.
11 catches, 134 yards, and a touchdown.
Who was coming off a rib injury. They didn't
he
activate
took
him
some-
until today.
He took some
I
heavy
know. Sit on my
hits,
fucking bench.
too.
Oh, he's on in our league. He's on. I got him. I
Also,
got him.
just real quick about Jameis, I don't think from Pee Wee till now a coach has ever sat him down and said, the linebackers can also intercept the football. Like, that has never been explained to him.
Those men also have hands.
Yeah.
The Saints played well today, given the fact that Carr got knocked out. I actually thought their offense was moving better with Winston, to be quite honest.
It seemed more fluid, yeah.
But Josh Dobbs is a story here to me.
Mr. Minnesota.
When Arizona picked him up, I thought it was kind of a joke.
Yeah.
Because they released Colt McCoy, who'd been their starter all offseason, and I was like, I don't know what you're doing here. And he only got 1 win for the Cardinals, but they didn't have much of anything going. And the fact that he got them to be consistent was amazing. And now, like last week, he went to the Vikings. He didn't even take a snap in practice. He didn't know half the names of the people in the huddle. Got him a win. And this week, with 1 week of practice,
Yep.
268 yards passing. And the Saints' defense is not a joke.
But we were hyping up Arizona at the start of this season, who was coming out to play. They were not winning, but they were putting up really good numbers
Yep.
out there. They were fighting their asses off, with him at the helm.
Absolutely.
And here he is. Like, okay, great. Now you got your chance in Minnesota. That man's going to get paid next year.
Yep.
I
I mean, if
agree.
he's not a starter, I mean, it's only been a couple of games, but fuck.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what kind of contract
Yeah.
he has. Hopefully, he has the ability to go somewhere else. But I think he's due to get paid.
Some team needs a quarterback
Smart.
and will be willing to sign
Yeah.
him.
Well, unless something crazy happens, like, you know what, Kirk Cousins is at the end of his contract. Do we try to save some money and beef up?
I think it's
you know
a
what I
definite
mean?
possibility.
That I can see a lot of positives with
People
that.
don't like Kirk Cousins.
He's
got
got I think plenty of teams would love to have Kirk
Oh,
Cousins.
yeah.
No,
Oh, the Giants, fuck yeah.
but
I think the Giants would be very happy to have Josh Dobbs right now,
we
too.
were lucky to have a quarterback too.
I think they take Heineke right now. Jesus.
Yep. Yeah. But honestly, that could be really fun for the league in general. If all right, you know what, we're gonna put our money. You got a lot of season left, but Minnesota seems to be a really good fit for him, and he's doing a great job. That locker room seems to love him. Oh man.
Yep. Quite a showing for him. In what I'm going to have to call the most exciting game of the day, the Detroit Lions traveled to LA to take on the Chargers, and they pulled out the win 41-38. Jared Goff had 333 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. David Montgomery, 116 yards rushing and a touchdown. Jameer Gibbs had, I believe, 70 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, also got some receiving work. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 8 catches for 156 yards and a touchdown. On the Chargers side, you had Justin Herbert throwing for 323, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Austin Eckler had 67 yards rushing and a touchdown, and to go with 4 catches, 48 yards. And Keenan Allen had a very ho-hum 11 catches, 175 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I know Detroit's defense is pretty good. Didn't have so much luck today.
They missed the bus.
They did. But this is kind of the problem the Chargers have had all season. Like, their offense could put up a lot of points, but they have they've lost, 4 games with 1 score or less?
4 or 5.
Yeah, they just cannot win the close games.
But this is also the chart. But it's not always as impressive on their offensive side. You know, they're not always putting up 40 points.
Oh no,
They've had their struggles. This is the team that I expected them to be all year. Like I expect them to be like that last year. This kind of performance against Detroit was holy shit good.
Absolutely.
If they can keep up this pace, they can turn their season around for sure.
And it wasn't like, defensive turnovers that cost them the game. It was, just,
Right.
it was literally whoever had the ball last. You know,
Yep, very much so.
man.
Just a really fun game to watch. That Detroit Lions team, there's so many weapons that they have at their disposal on the offensive side.
Jameer Gibbs, this is why they picked him up and letting him just go. Holy shit.
And seeing David Montgomery, who has always been a very solid pro in his career, but seeing him to be able to play on a winning team
yeah.
and showing that he is actually an explosive player. Like, the offensive line in Chicago was not great when he was playing there. He's looking like he's quite happy to be playing with them these days.
Their only bad loss was the Chiefs, 31-17. They lost to the Dolphins 36-34, Titans 27-24, Cowboys 2017, and then today. Just can't win these one-score games,
That's brutal.
Man.
That is absolutely brutal. Atlanta traveled to Arizona today. Kyler Murray, back from the knee injury. Atlanta lost 23-25. Kyler Murray had 249 yards passing, no touchdowns through the air, but he did run for 1. James Conner also came back from injury, he had 73 yards rushing. Trey McBride, second-year tight end, 8 catches, 131 yards. For Atlanta, Heineke had 55 yards passing and a touchdown. He got hurt. Ritter came in, threw for 39 yards. You are doing the math right. That is not 100 yards passing in the game. Bijan Robinson finally got some carries, got 95 yards and a touchdown, and Drake London was their leading receiver with 36 yards. For Atlanta, this is just kind of more of the same issues. They cannot throw the ball.
Yeah.
It's almost like they should have kept their quarterback from before.
Maybe, but, he's retired now.
He'd still be playing. If he would have been traded last year, he'd still be playing. Yeah.
Matt Ryan?
Yeah.
Think so?
I think so. I think he was really happy in Atlanta. Really liked it.
I think
And
he
you
could
can
have
see-
done well.
Once
with
he
this
got
Atlanta
traded, he
team.
was like, I don't have the heart anymore. He's like, I'll do it again. I'm like, nah, I'm done.
I think he could have done really well with this squad this year.
Yeah.
This is 5-6 years removed. I don't know if he ever recovered from that Super Bowl loss.
I don't think so. Mentally, I
Yeah.
don't think so either. Yeah.
I think 28-3 is pretty much going to haunt him for the rest of his
Yep.
life.
Yep. Well, no, because he did that commercial where he even made fun of it himself. So maybe that's a step in getting over it.
You know what? When you're going to get paid commercial money and they're like, we're going to
Yeah.
pick on ourselves for 28-3, and he's like, you want to throw an extra $500K on there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I can do that.
That's fair.
I will cry myself to sleep on my gold-plated pillow. Thank you very much.
The Commies traveled to Seattle, and they lost 29-26. Sam Howell did throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, though. Brian Robinson, the other Robinson running back, only had 38 yards rushing, but he added 6 catches for 119 yards and a touchdown. Antonio Gibson, also running back, led the receivers with 5 catches for 42 yards and a touchdown. For the Seahawks, Geno Smith finally had a big game, 369 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. DK Metcalf had 7 catches for 98 yards, and Tyler Lockett 8 catches for 92 and a touchdown. Commies didn't quite have the pass rush they used to, given the fact they just traded away their 2 star defensive ends.
Yep.
For the Seahawks, this is kind of the offense we expected to see all season, and we've been kind of wondering where the hell it was.
I mean, they're 6-3, but like a very shaky 6-3.
But also, what if the Commies had not made those trades?
yeah.
Would the Seahawks been able to put up that kind of offense? I don't know.
I mean, that would change the game. Really. Yeah.
I think so. But I was expecting more from the Seahawks, but Commies just continue to baffle me. I don't know what to fucking think about them. They have the ability to lose brilliantly and then put up a really, really tough game against the Seahawks that I thought was going to be way better. So,
Yep.
Also, I don't think you technically particularly want to hear this as a Giants fan, but I think if you're a Washington fan, they have their quarterback. Or it seems like they have their quarterback.
He started off pretty crappy, but he also has been hit so many fucking times, and he's putting putting up a lot of yards.
He's going to have a
lot of
league
yards.
record of being sacked the most times in a season if it continues the way it's going.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
with that being said, it still seems like DC has their guy at quarterback.
Yep,
for a
Texans are
change.
going, yeah, take that record away from us.
And the last game from today's, Mr. Stanton might want to leave the room for this one. The Giants, with Danny DeVito at quarterback, traveled to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Mr. DeVito did have 86 yards passing, 2 touchdowns.
Ooh.
Saquon
to
Barkley
Dallas?
had 66 yards rushing, and Bellinger was their leading receiver with 2 catches for 34. Quite the opposite on the Dallas side. It was 49-17. Dak Prescott, 404 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, rushed for another touchdown. Rico Dowdle was the leading rusher with 79 yards and a touchdown. Brandon Cooks technically led them with receiving with 5 catches for 173 and a touchdown, but CeeDee Lamb added 11 catches for 151 yards and a touchdown, which made him the first player ever with 3 straight games with at least 10 catches and 150 yards. I'm not trying to bash too much on the Giants when I say this, that it's hard to win when you're on your 3rd-string quarterback, when your wide receiver room is lacking depth, and when your star tight end is also on IR. It is not the makings of great offensive output.
No.
For the Cowboys, we knew they had a lot of great players. This was a team that they were playing against that was down a lot. They could have overlooked them. They did not. They showed up. They dominated, and they won the game. Mm-hmm. I don't know what else to say than that. They looked great today.
You better look great against the Giants. That's exactly what should have happened. That's kind of like the 70-point game that Miami put up, and it's like you're going to put those kind of you do that. You keep going.
Yep.
100%. I agree.
Well, no, because they put in their backups 4th quarter at least. So.
Yeah, whatever. So, yeah.
But, yeah, just a great showing by Dallas today.
Yep.
Everything they wanted to do, they did.
And then we got to hear it all week long.
There will be a little bit of celebration from the Cowboys fans as...
A little bit?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so that's all of today's scores thus far. We are currently watching the...
Man, they get the Panthers next week.
Yeah, it's a great time. If you have fantasy and
Go
fantasy football,
Cowboy
start
fans.
Dak Prescott.
All right, yeah, no shit.
All right, so that is all the scores that we've watched so far. We are currently watching the Jets go for a field goal against the Raiders right now. But we're going to get into the first of our little side things. We're going to go with our UNFL.
Yeah, on FL, because things do happen outside of the professional football, and we might as well talk about them because sometimes
Hell
it's
yeah.
interesting. This segment is not brought to you by Knob Creek, but it could be. Send a check. I want to start by talking about a game that I missed. So this is a week old. Minnesota NCAA basketball. During their preseason, they did a scrimmage with McAllister, which is a D3 team, and they won.
What?
Was that the kid from Home Alone?
Yeah.
Hold on.
They played it. They
A
scrimmaged.
D1
Yeah.
team opened their season against a D3 team.
Preseason.
They didn't open the season with them. It was
Okay.
great. Minnesota won 97-73.
Oh, they gave up 73 to a D3?
Yep.
Wow.
But there's one Caleb Williams. I'm not talking about the number 1 pick in football. We're talking about
Who's going to be a bust? Say it again.
right?
Wow.
We're talking about the
On
lead
throw it
stud
down.
for the D3 McAllister, who put up 41 points.
41 of his team, 73.
And you gotta watch these clips because they were contested shots left and right because he's playing fucking D1.
I thought you were going to go Steph Curry. He was just watching it from half court.
No, he was like 5 for 8 from 3. Like everything was these contested field goal shots. It was super impressive.
Transfer portal,
Oh
anybody?
my god, insane. Sticking with basketball in the NBA, there was a sequence that happened with the Cavs and Golden State. So Draymond Green got ejected again.
As he does.
As he does. Two technicals.
Was it a nut-related thing?
It was not a nut-related thing.
Or as is tradition, I suppose.
Yeah.
I should
So-
just say now.
Tis the season, yeah.
Yeah. It was a really weird sequence because he was issued his second technical when they were reviewing a play, but it was about something that had happened the play prior. So it was issued retroactively. So in the play prior, sorry,
for flagrant they can do that. Okay.
Donovan Mitchell from the Cavs is dribbling the ball up. Draymond comes in, kind of strips it. Cavs did end up scoring, but like in the process of Draymond stripping it from Donovan Mitchell, he kind of bumped him. Mitchell kind of scooted out of bounds, whatever. They get the rebound, they inbound the ball. Draymond's dribbling up the court. Donovan Mitchell comes sprinting over, and it looks like he came in with like a real quick hard foul. Like, so they're reviewing that. Did Donovan Mitchell commit a flagrant? In the review of that, they said no, just a common foul, even though he sprinted across and
it was so fast it looked egregious.
Right.
Okay.
But then they looked at the play before, and they're like, yeah, actually, it looked like that Draymond did actually, commit a flagrant on him. So a retroactive technical by reviewing a separate play.
He did it to himself. He
But-
built a history.
But you know what? Like, so how far back do you go?
yeah.
This also sounds like a Key and Peele sketch, but
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Like,
delightful.
wait a minute. We're not. You already.
that was
you,
3 hip thrusts.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
allowed that. Only
you were-
2.
We didn't call anything on that one. But now we've seen it again. So how far
Yeah.
back can you go? It's shaky ground, and I feel like only Draymond Green, who by the way was ejected during the finals, when they looked back after the game and said, there was a flagrant on this one, and that so like he had to sit out a game in one of the finals a couple years ago. Only him. So also in the NBA, James Harden is still winless in LA. I encourage everyone to look into the clip from the Mavs announcers who went on an absolute soapbox soliloquy. Said, please pipe this into the locker room so James Harden can hear me. It is a masterpiece of saying, you're the problem, right? 3 to 4 minutes of him just chirping on James Harden, and he said, imagine that you're that person who complains about having a bad roommate, and you get another roommate, they're a bad roommate, you get another one, you're the problem, James Harden.
Every day you run into assholes, maybe
Is
you're
that
an
about Harden or
asshole.
Kyrie?
No, the Mavs announcer was talking about James Harden.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
No, I agree.
The only thing worse than James Harden's attitude right now is the puffer coat that Spike Lee wore this past week. Oh, it's bad. Bad.
I thought it was one of those sumo outfits.
It's pretty ugly. All right, so NCAA football. LSU 52-35 over Florida, but the story was I can't read my own handwriting. Sorry, quarterback.
We've all been there.
What is it? Jaden Daniels. Sorry, who is now the only quarterback to have topped 550 yards, 350 in the air, and 200 rushing. He did it with 606 total offensive yards. 372 yards in the air. He got 3 touchdowns. He also got 2 rushing touchdowns because he had 234 yards on the ground.
Jesus.
Holy shit. That is some Heisman shit. The Heisman race is really tricky this year. That is a groundbreaking performance. It's hard not to acknowledge that. Oregon and USC. Oregon did win 36-27.
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix, who leads the nation in completion percentage, almost 78%. He's got
Much better than Caleb Williams.
over 3,100 yards in the air. He's got 29 touchdowns. He's a fifth-year senior. Mm-hmm. He's probably one of the ones leading the Heisman race. He's doing a great job, but you're a fifth-year senior. You're putting up the same numbers you did last year, but you still didn't go to the draft. Mm-hmm. Is this one of those guys who's going to be an absolute legend in college, but doesn't have it in the NFL? Like,
Tebow.
right?
It happens. Charlie Ward did exist.
Right? Yeah. Yes, you're doing a great job in college, but why didn't he go for the draft last year? It was a strong quarterback draft last year, but so
He's a student athlete.
I
Maybe get the fucking degree one more year.
maybe
Also,
I don't know.
that's a very good point.
Or
He wanted to
Or
finish school.
perhaps he just really enjoys college.
Um,
I mean, if he's not from
I
a
mean-
team, if his family isn't dying for him to get some money and he can enjoy it,
Yeah.
why not?
yeah, sure.
Where does he go to school?
Oregon.
Oregon.
I have to imagine being a fifth-year senior on the football team at Oregon is probably just fine.
Okay, but so's playing in the NFL.
No, I know.
I just it makes me wonder when someone is like fifth year, you're putting up the same numbers as you pretty much you did last year.
No, it's smart.
You know, you're in the hunt for the Heisman. I don't know. I don't know.
Even if you would have like declared for the draft last year, would he have gone top 5? Maybe not.
Maybe
a
not.
lot of
Maybe
quarterback
not.
competition last year.
I don't know that.
Later year?
I don't think Bo Nix is looking at a top 5 pick either, though. So I don't.
No.
It's not in that discussion. Okay. Washington and Utah. Washington 35, Utah 28. But the pick by, I'm going to get his name wrong. I apologize. Alfonso Tupatuala.
Oh, that was gonna be my just the worst.
Man, so
Fucking
a 76-yard interception.
from a linebacker.
From a linebacker.
Yep.
It was, deflected off the receiver's hands.
Beautiful.
He picks it up. He runs it back. A little bit of traffic. Then he's free and clear. Doesn't he drop it a yard from the fucking end zone?
Yep.
Listen, when Deshaun Jackson is your hero you grew up watching, that thing will happen every now and then.
I'm sick of seeing that fucking
I am
happen,
sick
though.
of seeing that happen.
You don't
run your
celebrate.
ass all the way through and then drop it.
Yep.
What are you doing? It's like you're a linebacker.
Yep.
You don't get those opportunities very
And then
often.
every single person on his team not fucking aware. No fucking situational awareness.
Oh, they all ran down to go cheer with him until one of the Utah
Offensive
guys.
linemen.
Right.
Fuck.
Yep.
I don't think
Yep.
he made it.
Right.
Only guy in the field smart enough to fucking pick it back up. Yep.
I want to
Good
say
for him.
that my favorite
Fuck
part
yeah.
of the college week was when one of the Memphis players got hit in the nuts by a yellow flag thrown by the ref. It was pretty fantastic.
Who doesn't wear a cup? I don't get that. I saw that clip too. I was like, you're not wearing a fucking cup? What the fuck?
Right.
Almost none of them.
Yeah.
I was to say,
Why?
I never played football, but like in lacrosse, we never wore them either. It literally
Because
ruins-
it's uncomfortable?
no, it literally fucks up your like mobility enough. I'm not joking.
You fucking get used to it if you wear it enough.
Well,
That performance, or that clip was pretty fantastic. This next clip from Michigan over Penn State, which is a good win by Michigan, but not because of the quarterback, who was 7 for 8 and 60 yards. But still, good on Michigan for taking out Penn State. But it was actually the fact that Michigan's defensive tackle chased down Penn State's Katron Allen, who's 5'11", 221 running back. Their defensive tackle, Kenneth Grant, 6'3", 340, chased him down to get a tackle. It was really impressive.
That's a big
Really
awesome.
impressive.
Chasing down a little dude.
The craziest and a little self-serving because it involves the Syracuse and Pittsburgh game. Some of the craziest fucking stats of all time. Our backup quarterback was out injured, and our starting quarterback played with a shoulder injury. So he really couldn't throw the ball. Garrett Schrader threw the ball 2 times.
As
For-
the quarterback.
1 completion, 5 yards. It was a touchdown. A running back did throw the ball 1 time. No completions. Our tight end threw the ball 5 times for 3 completions and 12 yards. So our tight end is our leading passer. We had a total of 17 yards in the air.
Hey, wait. That's about what DeVito had in his first start. He played at Syracuse, too.
Yep.
I see a pattern.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
But our tight end also had 154 yards rushing. Our lead running back on 102, and our quarterback, Garrett Schrader, had 96. So we had a total of 382 rushing yards. But that still wasn't the best fucking clip. The best fucking clip, and you gotta look it up, tight end lines up shotgun. He gets the ball. He pitches it back to the running back, who threw a terrible pass up the field to a wide receiver. The quarterback lines up as a wide receiver. As
Straight
soon
on
as
the
the
far
play
right.
happens, instead of going forward, he took a step, did a backflip, Well, the corner just looked at him like, what the fuck is happening right now? He just did a backflip. It was an absolute terrible trick play. Nothing came out of it.
It's so fucking fun. To
Syracuse
So
still,
now we know that your quarterback can do a standing backflip.
he can do a
so
standing
that's
back. He's like a
something.
6'3", 200-pound, you know what I mean? Like, it's impressive. You know,
I don't know what it's good for, but he can do a standing backflip.
Hey, you know, Syracuse beat Pitt, so
Probably
we'll
not good
we'll
for
take
his
it.
fucked up shoulder.
Oh, God.
Especially if he landed wrong and fucked it up.
Right?
So,
my God.
right?
Apparently, coming out of high school, DeVito and Will Levis were like the two highest regarded quarterbacks in the tri-state area, and continuing their current trajectory, I think Will Levis is going to have a better shape of his career going forward. Than,
And for what we've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yes, Syracuse wins over Pitt. It involved a quarterback doing a backflip while lined up like a wide receiver. Holy shit.
Fair enough. That's pretty amazing. Let's get into just the worst. I would like to go ahead and start with. I know they got the win over Penn State, but Michigan, because of the scandal currently going on with them, apparently sending staffers to other teams' games to try to catch the signals for what they're using for play calls.
And illegally recording practices.
Yep.
Yep.
The Big Ten banned Harbaugh for the next 3 games from coaching on game day. He can coach them during the week.
Yep. Cannot be in the stadium.
And the
Yep.
thing that got me the most was that in their argument for why he shouldn't be banned, they never once said because he didn't do it.
Right.
It was all
They don't want to be caught in a
subjective
lie.
arguments of
Yeah.
how, well, this is why you shouldn't be able to do this or have make this decision without this investigation. They never said, we never did this.
Yep.
Their basic argument is other teams do it too. Therefore, we shouldn't be in trouble. Now, I could make a really fun analogy about the Astros, and as Brian has pointed out, they were not the only team smacking a trash can to let you know what pitches
And when
were
the
what.
MLB investigated, they found every team they investigated were also cheating, so they stopped the
my-
investigation.
Did Christie coach you? Like,
That's what happened.
all right.
It's not sexy, so it doesn't make the news, you know?
But with the way Jim Harbaugh is always such an asshole about
Everything.
everything about his team and trying to push every little law to the very limit, it's very frustrating to me. Like, I'm sorry if everyone is cheating is not an argument for doing the bad.
So, I think just the worst is still on the same topic, but it's actually the fact that Jim Harbaugh got suspended.
Oh.
Because it's been very clear that there was no connection to him being aware of this at all. And I understand the whole there's
Really?
been
How is this possible?
It's under his program, and I get it. The head coach gets
Heavy lies the head.
Exactly. But you suspended him from games instead of taking away wins or something like that, right? Instead, it was like, we're going to suspend you, even though there's nothing that points to him doing it. And the fact that the Duke Stallions, or whatever the heck his name is, like, this guy was methodical with, like, everything he wanted to do to make the Michigan program great, right? He documented so many things about all of this. It all points to him and no one else being aware. I get it, heavy lies the head, but they jumped to it so quickly. It was this neat look, you gotta do something, you gotta do something. Okay, right? So, why do it now? Like, what's the point that you're trying to make? That's what bothers me from it.
He's an asshole, so let's make an example out of him.
Exactly, right. I actually think just the
I didn't
worst
know
is...
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's been nothing that's actually pointed to him.
Or he's
nothing.
so smart about being insular, he's protected himself.
I think it's the latter.
I think so.
I would have to go with the latter. If someone has actually found out what signals are being used, as the head coach, if he's being given information like that, he needs to be like, why do we have this information?
This guy that was doing all this, and I forget his name, he's trying to build the program. He's trying to build himself. He's trying to make himself look good. You think he's out there being like, yeah, by the way, I'm also doing this. I don't
But
think
how would
so.
Harbaugh not know?
There's nothing that points to him being involved. Nothing. Yet. But he's already serving a suspension.
You're
And
the
that's what's wrong
head
about
coach
it.
of Michigan football. There's no way you don't have any inclination of what it... Like, dude.
How
I mean,
many?
it's a possibility.
Okay, all right,
Like
So-
he might have fielded that phone or a call from a burner phone and something like that, but like he had to have known.
Jim Boeheim gave up had 101 wins taken away because he had players that were ineligible from 5 years earlier.
I know.
Multiple because
Personal bias.
100%. But this is the example that
Okay, Strohs.
yeah
Yeah.
where because
I just repeated facts.
some of the players were getting extra help from like TAs or whatever it was, like on their homework, right? And that investigation took place. Yeah, because they were ineligible because of the help they were whatever.
Yeah.
That investigation took place, and then here's the
After
punishment.
his final
then
findings,
here's
yeah.
when the penalty
Yep.
was handed down. Okay, you want to debate whether that was right or wrong? Go ahead. But heavy lies the head. But an investigation happened. They saw clear findings where and then now Syracuse gives up wins. Instead, they just suspended him
It's a
with
private
no proof.
business. They can do whatever rules they want. Yeah.
and that-
This is accurate.
yeah.
This was not the NCAA.
Not fair, but
This was the Big Ten. So, who knows? In the future, the NCAA might be looking into this too, and there might be a loss of wins coming down the
he
pipe.
might sue the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Who fucking knows?
But
you
to
know?
suspend, like when there's
Yeah.
there's been no investigation and to get suspended, that's why
Right.
I say it's a problem.
And I
Yeah.
could also see Michigan being petty enough they like join the Sun Belt and fucking sue the Big Ten.
the
And,
Sun
like,
Belt.
I pick a fucking yeah.
I do have one other just the worst, and it's only because such a letdown for a team. Oklahoma State won their bedlam against Oklahoma last week, and they got throttled by Central Florida yesterday. I'm not talking trash about Central Florida here. I'm sure there are good players in the team, but
There
to
always
go
are.
from that high to that low,
Well, that's what
Wow.
happens. You get cocky.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. Like that was their Super Bowl,
Yeah.
if you will.
They probably had a 4-day hangover, you know?
I don't doubt it. But I will say this. UCF beat Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma beat Texas. Texas beat Alabama.
Boom.
There you go.
There you go. Gotta run that cycle.
Football math works, right?
Yeah.
Any just the worst for y'all?
I actually do. It's in the same vein as Scott and what you guys are talking about, but mine actually is Penn State. James Franklin cannot beat top 10 teams. He is like, and I know Michigan and Ohio State are tough tasks, but he is like 4-20 versus top 10 teams during his tenure at Penn State. And furthermore, he cannot beat top 10 teams at home. And also, he gets top 10 recruiting classes every year. He has all the facilities he could ask for. The boosters and administration give him all the money he could do anything with. And he cannot beat good teams. And part of me is fine with that, but just James Franklin and Penn State are just mired in being the 12th best team in the country. They cannot beat a top 10 team.
Well, you know that Nittany is Latin for can't beat the best.
Sure. Learned something new today, but yeah, they just can't do it.
That's I never thought about that, but it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, I was talking to Scott about it last night. Like, they just cannot beat top 10 teams, especially at home for some reason.
That's pretty funny.
That is funny. Yep.
No just the worst for you?
Nope. Just that, stop fucking dropping the football before you get in the end zone.
God,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Fucking stupid.
Jesus.
The first time that happened with Deshaun Jackson in the pros, you would figure that would kind of be like the...
A fucking lesson? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it never happens again.
Yes. That's pretty bad. Okay, well, last little thing we'd like to get to right now is Squeak's Streaks.
Yep.
Which, unfortunately, his 2 streaks from last week
I
fell
know.
off.
I
The Colts did not score 20, and the Ravens did not rush for 150 yards rushing, correct?
125.
125. Okay.
No, I flew too close to the sun, so I did not get the Colts or the Ravens. But Matt talked about him during the intro. Before joining the Vikings, in his previous 4 starts, Josh Dobbs had a passer rating of 70, and then the 3 before that were all in the 50s. The week prior versus Atlanta, he had a QBR of 101.8. Today, he had a QBR of 101.1 versus New Orleans. Sorry, Brian. They're playing the Broncos next weekend. I'm going to go he will have a QBR of over 101 versus the Broncos next
that's
week
a-
for the 3 weeks in a row.
The Broncos.
I don't think so.
They got
I
a
think-
they
I
got
don't
a
think
squad.
so.
I know.
They are playing better now.
They got a defensive squad.
I like it, though.
That's a dangerous one for
I'm
sure.
riding
He's
a hot
had two
hand.
good games. Yeah.
I think it's plausible.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Is there any chance Jefferson comes back next week?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe. I think he's actually entered the 3-week practice window.
Okay, so
To
probably
come out-
not.
to
but
come off the IR. Maybe not, but
I like that. That's a good one. Like
It is-
again,
it
it's
is
something
a-
that's possible.
Yeah.
I don't think so, but
Right.
possible.
Right.
Yeah.
okay. So, week 11 games because we like to make our picks earlier because we whole ass nothing. We half-ass
yeah.
everything. We're not going to wait till games are done.
No, yeah,
Nay.
we still got a game that we're watching right now, and game tomorrow. So
Technically, it's a
I
game.
mean, the football is getting moved around the field, so it's
Thursday night, the Bengals travel to Baltimore.
yeah.
This AFC North, the interdivision games of the AFC North are so fucking tough to pick.
I'm going to
They
go
just
ahead and
murder
say that
each other.
the
Yeah.
Thursday game and the Monday game are going to be the hardest to pick.
Oh fuck yeah.
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 Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll agree with that.
Jumping ahead there. but-
So the Bengals, they did have Jamar Chase. T. Higgins was out, I believe, with a hamstring injury. Don't know if he's going to be able to make it back for a Thursday game either. So you'll be looking at hopefully Jamar Chase still playing with Tyler Boyd as their second wideout.
If he learns to catch.
Yes. Kind of important there. For the Ravens, they're bringing that very good defense with them. And they also still have an offense that can explode at any time. It's kind of interesting. The rushing / receiving game for them. They haven't quite
Yep.
had one game where everything worked.
It's kind of weird, but yeah.
The Bengals defense, kind of a no-name defense, but they play very tough. So this is
And
definitely
both coming off a loss.
yeah. Like
a-
if
a
only
kinda
one of us going to have a
unexpected
loss, I'd be like, all right, well
Yeah.
maybe this one will be the difference. But
Like they're being chirping to the light the whole time. Like you lost to the Texans, you lost to the Browns. You know?
Yeah.
Give me the Bengals on this one. I think the Bengals in fourth place take out the Ravens in first place and make that division just a muddy fucking mess. I think the Bengals have the offensive firepower. They're going to struggle to score in the first quarter, and then they're going to take off. They're going to, even without Higgins, Boyd is better than he played today. That's for sure. But I think they can take out the Ravens, and it'll be hell for whoever the Ravens play the following week.
I'm also going to go with Cincinnati. It's more of just a gut than anything else. As far as the pick goes, I have no reason why I think the Ravens would be playing badly in this. I just think the Bengals are, even though they lost today, they're on that upward trajectory we seem to see in the mid-season to end of season for the last couple of years now. And I think they're just hitting their stride right now. And for the Ravens, they got a few things they got to figure out at this point.
I think Scott's right, but he's wrong by a week. I think the Ravens are going to be furious next weekend and take care of the Bengals. Not like shit stomp them, but I just think they're going to take care of business.
Again, tough call. I mean, I think the Ravens showed that they can put up a lot of points on a pretty good defense. And then they go to Cincinnati that does not have a very good defense. Still both angry, but like, I think Ravens pull it out.
The first game on Sunday is the rest of the AFC North. The Steelers travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Still, two very good defenses, but these are two offenses headed in very different directions. I think the Browns are actually an ascending offense still, and I think that the Browns will be able to do enough to beat the Steelers next week, no matter what TJ Watt and those guys.
I'm with you on that. I think that the Browns are looking a lot better than I expect them to be this year, and assuming Deshaun Watson, who looked like an old man getting up every single play this week, assuming he's healthy enough, he's dangerous. So
Steelers need to figure out their fucking offensive playbook.
Yeah.
That they don't have it yet.
yeah,
Steelers, but in a classic, like, just AFC North sloppy game. But I don't know how or why, but just Steelers by 3.
Okay. The Las Vegas Raiders travel to Miami to take on the Dolphins, coming off their bye week. Let's see. The Raiders have a losing record. The Dolphins haven't beat a team with a winning record, but they've beat all the losing teams they've played. Dolphins win.
we went from some difficult picks to I mean, that's a lock, right?
It feels like it.
It feels like
It's
it.
a little dangerous because of that.
Exactly. Yeah. It could be one of those ones like what?
Where'd that come from?
I have no idea the extent of Jimmy Garoppolo's injuries. But even if he was back next week, I don't see how the Raiders can win.
Yeah. 'Cause McDaniel doesn't overlook teams.
No.
Like, no.
And a healthy Dolphins, the ability to just put points on the board like no other. Holy shit.
If the Dolphins receivers played with one hand tied behind their back, they would still win.
Yeah, Waddle and Tyreek Hill are just so dangerous.
Well, because they have two fucking running backs that can put up 100 yards anytime you want to. So.
And Achane should be coming back at some point soon now, too.
I thought he was going to
next
be
week, I
back.
don't
Oh,
think
no,
so.
okay, never
Yeah.
mind, yeah.
I mean, at some point, yeah.
Dolphins, and I think it's one of those games where Mike McDaniels is just like clowning by the third quarter. Like, let me try this play I thought about in high school in 10th grade while I was taking a dump. And the
Yeah.
Dolphins.
That's a great practice game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, wholeheartedly.
Okay, my beloved Chicago Bears travel to Detroit to take on the Lions, and David Montgomery gets his revenge game, and the Bears lose. Hopefully Justin Fields is back, and they play, at least make it competitive, but the Lions have such a good team. I don't see how the Bears can pull this one out.
It would be incredible
It'd be fantastic.
to watch
It'd be
the Bears
nice,
pull it out, but I just can't make that pick.
No, I
Can't
can't
make the
either.
pick. Yeah.
There's too many weapons on the Detroit
Yeah.
side.
I always try to pick one of y'all's teams or all of your teams every week. I don't see this one happening. Yeah, Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like that, I wanted to have that be my wild card pick. I just, unless the Lions get in a plane crash, we're gonna go with yeah.
And it's like the Little Giants playing in their stead. Yeah.
Annexation of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lions and the Cubs.
The Titans travel to Jacksonville to take on a Jags team that was embarrassed today. That embarrassment gets taken out on Tennessee next week, is my opinion on that. I think that Jacksonville is going to really do some damage to the Titans.
I think they put up like 45 fucking points.
Yeah, I think they explode on them.
I don't understand why the Titans can win most of the time.
Derrick Henry over 20 rushes.
Right.
We've already discussed it.
Right.
It's right there.
Right.
That is the exact equation. Yeah.
No, but that's because they don't recognize that they have King
Science,
Henry,
bitch.
right? Like it's crazy to me. Like you just don't get them involved. What are we doing here? Like
Yep.
just give him the ball and have him run. Block for him a little bit. Like what the fuck? But even still, like I think Jacksonville, man. They're prime for just a big game. I'm still not going to start Calvin Ridley, so that's going to be that's going to be nice. So yeah.
Yeah, Jacksonville. Yeah.
This will be my funsies one, Tennessee.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. The Chargers travel to Green Bay to take on the Packers. Packers kind of reeling. Chargers coming off a tough loss. The Chargers have so many offensive weapons. It's nothing against Green Bay necessarily, even though I cannot stand them personally. But I see the Chargers finally getting another win.
If Green Bay can get their running backs going,
I guess I should say finally. They did beat the Bears on Sunday night pretty
yeah.
handily.
If they can get their running backs going, I think they could keep it competitive. But like they have two great running backs
Yeah.
that they're just not using.
I mean, Jones and Dillon, just fucking use them.
Right?
I don't get it. Yeah.
Right. The way the Chargers played, if they can keep that up, they're a great team. And they just need to get ahead by more than 3 points, apparently. It'll be okay.
Yeah, I think that loss today, like, it didn't hurt them so bad, but I think it showed them, like, this is what we are capable of doing. Like, we can put these points up.
Yes.
Which is what they knew last year. I don't know what the fuck happened to them this year, but
Chargers in a game that Green Bay hangs around a little too long.
hopefully.
Arizona and Kyler Murray travel to Houston to take on C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans. Listen, Kyler Murray was a nice shot in the arm to help get their offense rolling a bit. I do think that'll make for a beneficial effect going against Houston. But I just cannot pick against Houston in this game. I see them getting to 6-4.
DeMeco Ryans is not going to overlook anyone because I guarantee he's watching saying, they fight. Arizona fights. And now they got their quarterback. They're probably feeling, a little bit more hyped up. Arizona gets a win under their belt. They're going to feel like no, you guys got to buckle up. Don't take anything for granted. And hopefully Texas keeps that energy. I'm picking Texan, but I think it could turn into a scrappy game.
Well,
for
in
sure.
some ways, it'd be beneficial for Houston to beat them anyway, because the Cardinals will get the Houston's first round pick that belongs to Houston, or the Houston one. They have one still from Cleveland that they will still have, but the better record Houston gets, the worse pick that is for Arizona. So Arizona would like to win this to get a better pick at the end of the year. But I'm sorry, like C.J. Stroud and them, they're playing way too well.
Yeah.
Houston, and I also think no team in the league is looking forward to playing Houston.
Nah.
Like, I think there's plenty of teams capable of beating them, and they would beat them, but I don't think the Chiefs would be like, hell yeah, we're going to Houston next weekend, you know?
Definitely a tougher play than anybody thought coming into the season.
I think the Texans might be riding a little too high.
You think Kyler Murray's going to sneak up on them?
I
You
think
know there's a Modern Warfare coming out soon, right?
It's a very Houston Texans thing to be good, but then lose to the two worst teams in the NFL.
That would be hysterical.
Gave their Panthers their one win.
They did.
So,
They
yeah,
did.
it's a
They
very
did.
good point.
They did.
Yeah, good point. Cowboys are going to beat Carolina next week. I'm not really sure if we need
Cowboys
to
are
go any
going to
further
beat
into
Carolina
Anything
next
else?
week.
Anything else? Okay.
Hold on. Let's make this one interesting.
By
Pick
how
a
much?
spread?
How much? Well, all right, yeah. Let's do it that way, because we're all in agreement.
By 35, if today was any.
Are you saying 35?
Yeah.
I'm saying two scores, 14.
Give me 27.
Put me down for 24.
Okay.
All right.
That's fun. Danny DeVito and the Giants.
Oh, for the record, only whoever is closest gets the win. Everyone else takes the loss on that one.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
That's fair. Danny DeVito and the Giants travel to Washington to take on the Commies. The Commies are still lacking the two defensive ends that they traded, obviously. But they got a lot of weapons on offense. Sam Howell's been playing really well, and Wilson just stepped out of bounds there.
Yep.
I am not trying to be too mean here and picking on the Giants, but I just don't see them having enough to beat the Commies.
I mean, we got a win over them earlier in the season, which was great, but
Different quarterback play then.
I mean, like even with Tyrod Taylor, I would go with my heart and pick the Giants, but I mean, I don't even know when Waller's back, but still, like, it's ugly. It's ugly.
It is bad
Give me
right
commies on this one. Fuck.
Yeah, commies.
You're about to have a quarterback you're paying 4 years, $160 million, and a rookie quarterback, I think.
I will say that there's the way that his contract is set up. Really, it's only looking at 2 years.
Okay.
So getting a quarterback wouldn't be the craziest thing because they do have the ability to like how they can like move things around, blah blah blah. So it's
Well, it'd be a rookie contract anyway. So
exactly.
That's not backbreaking.
They
for
could
the
get
cap.
it. They could get a quarterback in, put him behind Daniel Jones for 2 years, and then if they want to get rid of Daniel Jones, they could. So
Looks like you're looking in disbelief.
I just don't see anything good happening in New York for a while.
Okay.
I know.
Sorry,
I
man.
agree.
So
I know.
commies across the board.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
and also I can't quote the exact stat, but I told Scott this last night. The Jets and the Giants combined on Sunday and Monday night in like the last however long are like 4-29, and just
That's pretty brutal.
yeah.
Okay. First of the 4 o'clock games. Tampa Bay travels to San Francisco. San Francisco got a lot of things back in order. That's what we saw today. Tampa Bay, they had a nice win today. I don't think they're going to have a nice win on next Sunday. I see San Francisco taking that one pretty easily. I'm sure Mike Evans will put up some yards. That's about all I can really say for Tampa Bay.
I think San Francisco is going to keep Mike Evans under 100 yards because their defense is good. And I like what's going on in Tampa Bay. They're a lot scrappier than I expected. but
Absolutely.
Still, the 49ers were so complete. When they're complete, they are scary as fuck.
Yep.
So,
Yes.
Yeah, San Fran, but also like Tampa makes it as close of a game as Tampa can.
they got to make a couple
Yeah.
adjustments at halftime, and then San Francisco goes,
Like I think at
I don't know.
halftime, Tampa Bay is still going to be hanging around, and then by the start of the fourth quarter, San Fran's going to
Right.
be doing something.
Yeah, something like that.
right,
Yeah.
right.
All right. The Jets travel to Buffalo to take on the Bills. That let's see, they'll probably have lost tomorrow.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I picked them to win tomorrow. But it is the Jets taking on the Bills. The Bills have been having some real problems recently. The Jets do have a great defense. The question is whether or not the Bills' defense can actually slow down the Jets' offense with Zach Wilson. I keep picking Buffalo.
and they keep disappointing.
Yes.
So this is going to be the time that it finally works.
Stop.
Buffalo beats the Jets.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna go Jets. Well, because I'm gonna take Buffalo. They have everything in their ability to beat the Jets. Everything in their ability to beat the Jets. The only one who could beat the Bills are the Bills themselves, and they're doing a great job of it. So, but yeah, give me the Bills.
I mean, yes, but I have no idea. The Bills are going to win. I don't know how or why, but yeah, the Bills.
You just changed my pick. I'm going New York.
All right.
Nice. All right, Seattle travels to L.A. to take on the Rams. The last time we saw the Rams, things were not going too well. Their quarterback, Brett Rippon, has been released. They now have Carson Wentz to go along with Matt Stafford whenever he comes back. In the Rams' defense here, last season they had to bring in Baker Mayfield because of an injury to Matt Stafford.
And that worked out just
And it worked
fine.
out very
Yeah.
well. Carson Wentz actually does usually play well. It's near the end of the game where he'll throw some absolute back-breaking interception that just destroys the team. I see Seattle building off the what they did today, and I see them actually beating the Rams next week.
I got Seahawks beating the Rams. I had to think about it when I heard Carson Wentz. It was one of those, and it was like, you bring in that the veteran. It might be enough to keep him going. Puka's still injured, right?
Nope.
No, he's back.
Puka should be back.
I waffled, but I think the Seahawks are complete. They don't have a quarterback stepping in, so just for consistency's sake, it feels a little safe, but yeah. Nah, fuck it. No, hold on. I'm changing it right now. No, give me Rams.
You go to LA?
Give me Rams. Yep.
Rams, because Geno Smith has a really bad game.
I think, and it's tough. Like again, the Seattle game we saw today is more of what we expected. It was more of what they were doing last season. I don't think they know how to do that back to back yet. They still have, there's time. I don't think so. Rams.
Okay. Next Sunday night, Minnesota travels to Denver. Josh Dobbs' show is going on the road.
With the over 100 QBR, right?
And a possibility of Justin Jefferson being back.
Yep.
To go along with Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. Denver has been playing better. Javonte Williams has been getting back into playing shape after the beginning of the season it's taken a while for him to get back to his playing self, but he is getting closer to that. I think
Russell Wilson doesn't look like total garbage anymore.
No, just garbage.
We're recyclables. Not
Yeah.
garbage.
Okay, all right.
Russell Wilson doesn't recycle.
He broke down the cardboard got broken down for him.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Minnesota in this one.
Same.
It's kind of boring pick. It's just
It's so weird. Like, Denver's defense is good. And Dobbs is still new to the team. But, man, so many weapons. It's almost like it feels dangerous to be like, man, Josh Dobbs, we're all about it. It's a lot of hype train.
it is.
It can go badly, but, man, he
He's
plays
got
hard.
such a head on his shoulders. I don't think it's going to get to him.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, you talk about going up into
thanks
the-
for the chance. Thanks for the
Yep.
chance.
He's talking about the mile high thing, but he's an aerospace engineering guy. Like, he's not worried about the.
Yeah.
And even if he doesn't utilize him to his potential, Justin Jefferson out there just inherently is going to open up other
If
shit.
he's back.
If he's back.
Yeah.
If he's back and nothing else, he'll open up other looks for Josh Dobbs.
But even if he's like not really healthy, but he's cleared to play, just having him out there for snaps is gonna fuck with the defense.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
right. What are you going to do? Not cover him? No,
No, you're gonna double cover him.
Right, your Addison's free, Hawkinson's free, you're
Yep.
fine.
Yeah.
You can just stand there and do backflips the whole time.
Right.
Yep.
Go Syracuse.
I always want to pick the Broncos. I know they suck, but I always want to pick them. But I do think they're going to beat the Bills tomorrow, and I cannot pick them back to back. So Vikings.
Okay. Monday night, we get a rematch of the last Super Bowl. Philadelphia travels to Kansas City.
Tough.
Kansas City defensively have been playing very well. Offensively, not great for them recently. For Philadelphia, their defense has been playing pretty well. Not quite as good as last year. Their offense hasn't been as consistent, but they're still putting up huge numbers. I think this is a revenge game. I think Philadelphia is still salty about that Super Bowl, as they should be. And I think they get the win versus KC.
I flipped a coin 10 times in a row. It landed on Edge. I think that the ability for the 49ers to score, for the Chiefs to score is what gives them the edge. They're more consistent on being able to put points on the board.
Okay.
Simple as that. Defenses are close in my mind. But Philadelphia has played some real sloppy games, and I think the Chiefs can force just enough of that sloppiness on the offense for the Eagles to keep them in it. I also think that it's like a 21-18 kind of game. So,
So unfortunately, he's not listening, JD, because he has a pregnant wife and had a work training today. But I know he'll listen tomorrow, and I want him to clutch his pearls. I'm picking the Chiefs, and I think they bring the Eagles back to reality. I'm not saying like they're going to crush them. I just think Chiefs do Chiefs things, and Eagles lose that game.
I'm going Chiefs. No real reason. Like, this is a hard game to pick.
Andy Reid and Mahomes are pretty good reasons.
I mean, that's a good
Travis Kelce.
reason, you know.
Coming off a bye week, Kelsey.
Is Tay going to
But
be
both
there?
of them, though, you know.
Yeah, is Taylor going to be in the house? That's
It is
bit-
a home game, so probably.
Is or is not Travis
And it's a
getting
Monday
laid
night
after the
game.
game?
Yep.
Yeah.
And she's in Buenos Aires right now, so
Oh, she's not going to be there.
No.
Oh, she could fly her private jet back and forth.
I don't know.
Because, you know, Matt likes nothing better than talk about Taylor Swift.
It's all I ever wanted to talk about on our football podcast.
the NFL got so fucking lucky. 2 reasons. One, the Kelsey Brothers podcast, which
Yep.
is incredible. The banter between the two of them is so fantastic,
I love that. Yep.
and it has brought the image of the NFL up so much.
Wait, you mean it almost matters if you're not a fucking complete piece of shit?
And then currently the most popular person in the world is now dating one of the brothers.
Also,
Jesus, the
the
NFL is like, hell
juxtaposition
yeah.
of being the center of a gritty ass city and Philly, and then like the pretty boy tight end is delightful as well.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call him a pretty boy.
Listen, Donna Kelsey.
He had his own dating show. What would you call him?
Donna Kelsey, on record, she was like, you know, after having Jason, she was like, we were hoping for a girl,
And they got one.
and I still got a fashionista, and that's all I care about.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's our picks for this week. As we watch this barn burner of the New York Jets versus Las Vegas Raiders, any last thoughts on this week of football?
We got to see some really, really gritty AFC games, and apparently it's going to be just all about the AFC North next week. Holy shit,
Yep.
man! Next week's games, I swear, it looks like a couple of really tough ones, and then a lot of just like this is one-sided.
But you never know.
You know, yeah,
That is why
fair
they play 'em.
enough. Fair enough.
Good games this week.
This was a great week for me. The Bears and the Texas Tech Red Raiders managed to win a
Hey,
football
there you
game this
go.
week. So, hey,
Yeah. Also, not like taking shots at Texas Tech, but that might be the biggest win for Texas Tech in the last 3-4 years.
no,
Number
we
16.
beat UT and Oklahoma last season.
And those are the ones you always want.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Oklahoma won like 4 games last season. I'm saying you beat number 16 Kansas.
No,
Yeah.
but you want to beat UT and Oklahoma,
let me
you know?
let me do this, all right?
No, no.
I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. You can quit your whining about your Oklahoma Sooners having a bad year, okay?
I know.
What's
2
his
losses.
name? Dick McCocket or what is it?
That's
Dick Woodcock.
Dick Woodcock.
Woodcock,
Okay.
Esquire.
Nice.
You have a law degree?
Yeah. Well, this guy did.
All right, well, that is our show for this week. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please give us a like, give us a follow. Leave us a review. Tell us what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. We are doing this every Sunday night at 8 o'clock. We live stream on YouTube. For those that are listening to the podcast, feel free to come join us. Get on the chat board. We love interacting with everybody. But that is this week's show. So as always, I am Matty Fax, joined by Scotty Stats, the Professor, Mr. Woodcock, and up Greg over on the side. Hope you all have a wonderful week. Enjoy all the football, and hopefully the Bills don't force Woodcock into wanting to leave the area.
I hope they do.
Y'all have a wonderful night. We'll see you next week.